Good evening to everyone. Come on in. Hope everyone is doing well today. Good evening to everyone. Come on in. Please invite your followers. Have something real practical and good to share with people this evening. Something ever so simple, but ever so meaningful and important. Hey, Latoya, I thought I saw pictures of that. That's great. I hope you're doing a great job in missions over in Jamaica. Amen. Hey, good evening to everyone. If you be so kind, you know how we do on our Monday's motivational message. If we could do our attendance and our roll call. Hey, Sister Green, if you would let me know where you are connecting from, what city, what state you are connecting from, what country, because we have Jamaica who is connected tonight on the scope. If you tell me where you are joining us from, what city, what state, I'd appreciate that. It's just something that we like to do because it connects us and the people who are on our scope. So Southfield is in the house. Hey, right hand. I hope you are well today. Where is everyone else joining us from? We have a few people, and I want to get a few more people. Detroit is on this evening. Hey, QT. I hope that people will invite your followers. I really have something to say that I think is going to help people to be successful. My mom is on. My mother is on tonight, who is joining us from Detroit. Just a few more moments. If you are Team Apple, of course, swipe to the side. If you are Team Droid, please swipe up and invite your followers. I think we're in for something real good, real short tonight, but real good and real meaningful. And I'll get started in just a second. Hey, Darlene is joining us from Maryland, East Coast. We got the East Coast on tonight. That's good for all my preachers and pastors and ministry gifts and friends and authors and entrepreneurs. This scope is going to be a great one tonight. So I want to get started. I want to talk about something that is very meaningful to me that I try to embody regularly. Canton, Michigan is represented this evening as well. I want to start off with a story and then a story that probably is familiar to most of us, and then we can dive into really what I want to share with you about the story. One of my favorite stories to share is the story of the tortoise and the hare, or the turtle and the rabbit. You remember the old story that all of the animals in the forest, they got together and wanted to have a race and wanted to see who was faster, the tortoise or the hare, or the rabbit or the turtle. And so they happened to be the ones who were selected. And so as the story goes, as is written and as we've seen cartoon variations of the story, that the gun was fired and they took off. And what would happen is that the rabbit would hop ahead and get way ahead of the turtle and left the turtle behind. And the turtle simply just took it one step at a time. And the rabbit would get ahead and would take a rest and open up his eyes and notice that the turtle had passed him. And then the rabbit would wake up in a panic and hop ahead and get way past the turtle and would relax again. This went on and on throughout the story, and every time the rabbit woke up, to his surprise, the turtle was past him. The final time, the rabbit hopped way ahead and was right by the finish line, and decided to rest because the turtle was way behind him, and he knew that the turtle could not win. And so the last time that the rabbit took a nap, when he woke up, to his surprise, shock, and dismay, the turtle had passed the finish line, or had crossed the finish line before him. And he was in an uproar and in a panic, and you know how it is that he went into the hole, you cheated, and all this kind of stuff. And he did not cheat. Clearly, the rabbit was physically advantaged over, or had a physical advantage over the turtle. And I believe that there were some other advantages, had a speed advantage that the turtle did not have. As a matter of fact, the turtle has to carry his house with him everywhere. However, The turtle exemplified something that I think that all successful people have to exemplify if you're really going to have true success. And the element or the missing ingredient or what's so evident with the turtle that the rabbit did not have that will always put you in the best position to win is commitment. For the next few moments, I want to talk about commitment, because it is the difference between rich people and poor people. Commitment. It is the difference between people who recognize that they're blessed and people who have not discovered that they are blessed. Commitment. It is the difference between healthy people and unhealthy people. Commitment. It is the difference between disciplined people and disoriented people. Commitment. So, commitment by definition, and we're going to set this up and be done, but commitment by several definitions, and the two definitions I'll give you are mine. Commitment is not going into an experience blindly. Commitment is going into an experience with limited sight, with the assurance of coming out with limitless insight. Let me say it again. Commitment is not going into an experience blindly. Commitment is going into an experience with limited sight, with the assurance of coming out with limitless insight. Very simply put, just as the turtle taught us, you've got to be willing to take it one step at a time. Another definition of commitment is the awareness of seeing it and the resolve to see it through. It is the awareness of seeing it, the vision, the idea, the goal, the big picture. It is the awareness of seeing it and the resolve to see it through. Thomas Edison said it this way, and I quote, "The successful person makes a habit of doing what the failing person doesn't like to do." I'll quote it again. Thomas Edison said, "The successful person or the committed person makes a habit of doing what the failing or uncommitted person doesn't like to do." End quote. So it is that if you're going to have any level of success, you have to have commitment. And let me share it with you this way. Normally we connect with things this way. Something gets our attention. You start off with attention. Something gets your attention, whether it's an idea, whether it is a problem that you believe that you are designed to solve, or that you have the wherewithal, the ability to solve. Something gets your attention. But the next step past attention is attraction. At this point, there is some sort of attraction, whether it is a spiritual attraction, an emotional attraction, an intellectual attraction, a physical attraction, a financial attraction. It starts off by getting your attention, but then it gets then there is attraction. After the attraction, there is engagement. You decide to get involved. You decide to get involved. And I need you to follow me here, because this is so paramount. You can almost go back and mark anything that you're doing that's of value. It started by getting your attention, and then it went to attraction. It drew you to it. Then there was engagement. You got involved. And in the reason why, the last step is fulfillment. So there is attention, attraction, engagement, and fulfillment. But the reason why people don't have high percentages of fulfillment or a great sense of fulfillment after they reach the stage of engagement is because of lack of commitment. Let me say it again. The link between fulfillment and engagement is commitment. And you have to be willing to commit. Not knowing everything, but the awareness to see what others won't see, and the resolve to see it through. I'll share it with you this way, and I'll share a few things with you about commitment. The first thing I want to share with you is you don't have time to address critics when you are achieving greatness. Let me say it again. You don't have time to address critics when you're achieving greatness. If the turtle had stopped to talk to the lion and the deer and the squirrel and the bird to tell them, hey, I'm not faster than the rabbit. The turtle didn't have time to do that, because when you're achieving greatness, you don't have time to stop and address critics. And think about what critics are. Critics are people and things and systems and ideologies that cannot do what you can do. They cannot say what you can say. They cannot go where you can go. And while they're telling you what you can't do, you're doing it. While they're telling you what you can't say, you're saying it. While they're telling you where you can't go, you're going there. So if you're going to be successful and you're going to move through the stages of attention, attraction, engagement, and fulfillment, you've got to have commitment. And commitment tells me I don't have time to address critics while I'm achieving greatness. And here is the caveat. The greatness that you're achieving is probably going to benefit the critics who want you to stop and address them. The next thing, you have to keep your mind power even if you lose some manpower. Let me say that again. I thought that really I could have gotten a few more hearts than this. I must not be working that hard tonight. But let me say it again. The second point is you have to keep your mind power even if you lose some manpower. What do I mean by that? There are people who you might share an idea with, a dream, a goal, an aspiration, and they'll tell you, I'm with you. Oh, I'm with you. As soon as you start, I'm with you. I'm on it. You have my support. You have my money. You have my time for advertisement, volunteerism, what have you. And sometimes they might drop out before you get started, or they might start out with you and not finish. But it's okay. You have to keep your mind power even if you lose some manpower. That is so important for you to understand. I will not lose my mind power even if I lose some manpower. Commitment. Commitment says this also. Commitment really tells us sometimes you're carrying the momentum, and other times momentum is carrying you. Let me say it again. Commitment tells you that sometimes you're carrying the momentum, and other times the momentum is carrying you. You may be very excited about something energetic, energized when you start off, and in the middle of it, your commitment will be challenged. And that is the time that you might not be carrying the momentum. But because you have put things in order and put things that are flowing in the same direction, now momentum is carrying you. I want to end with this about commitment. I believe that there is a connection between commitment and consistency. They are connected, but they are not the same. Commitment gives birth to consistency. I want you to get that. Commitment gives birth to consistency. Let's talk about the difference. Commitment is a belief. Consistency is a behavior. Commitment is a belief. It is what is inside of you that keeps you doing what you're doing. Consistency is what other people can see you doing, but you're doing what you're doing. You're behaving that way because of your belief. Very simply put, you can't change how you behave unless you change what you believe. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is that you must be willing to do regularly what others do occasionally. You must be willing to do regularly what others do occasionally. Or from the words of the turtle, who said in his victory speech when he beat the rabbit in the forest, And this is a Nelsonism. When they interviewed him and told him that the odds were against him, when they interviewed him and told him that this is impossible and we don't know how you did it, it is amazing because halfway through the race, they begin to cheer for the rabbit. They were cheering for the rabbit the whole time, but they noticed that the turtle was catching up. And in the victory speech, the turtle told the interviewer, and the reporter, I know that the rabbit was faster than me. I know that the rabbit was supposed to beat me, but all I could do was take it one step at a time. And I submit to you and I suggest to you that you take it one step at a time, that you're willing to do what others won't do so that you can have what others won't have. And very simply put, the truth about commitment, some have it and others don't. I thank you so much for watching tonight. That's all I have to say. I hope that it was simple, but I hope that it was significant. I want you to connect with me on social media if you have not already. On Facebook, I'm under Nelson A. Henry. It's my government name. If you would connect with me on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Periscope, of course, at Pastor Na, and on YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, if you don't mind, Nelson A. Henry. Most of these Monday's motivational messages and other messages that I minister on Sundays to our church and other places and just other inspirational insights are there. It is my joy, my honor, and my privilege to come to you week in and week out. Yeah, Lady Bree, it's that government name. It's my privilege to come to you week in and week out. And I can only hope that I am embodying what I am sharing with you. There are days I don't even have a message yet, but I made a commitment to do a Monday's motivational message. And that commitment shows in my consistency of every Monday night, or as many as possible, coming to you at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hey, the truth about commitment is that some have it and others don't. But I hope you're one of the ones who has it. Remember to continue to walk by faith and look good doing it. Be blessed.